You have to know a bunch of different things about your country, about voting, and also whether or not certain people who have been on air with us, Tarryn, on Thursday for What Do You Do, actually back it up.
True.
Today I realized that this man is not a liar. He does have the body to back it up, definitely. Please welcome
And you got the eye.
Magic Mike
Yeah.
from the IEC. Do you know why? I think people are missing the point as to why we call this gentleman Magic Mike.
Yeah.
It's because he's so good at information around the polls. So that's why it made sense to us to call him Magic Mike. But just with all the decorum, the IEC, and all the work that you and your team does, Mike, in the provincial setting, thank you for all the hard work. And welcome to the studio.
Hi, Carl and Tarryn.
Hello.
Hi, how's it? And it's good to be back.
Yeah.
I'm just checking out that poll story. It's not polls, it's voting.
Voting.
So let's
poll.
not talk about polls.
Yes, not polls,
Yeah.
voting.
Yeah,
Voting.
Rather,
That's it. I was talking about the other ones.
I know.
Yeah, you know most. Sorry, man. How was this weekend, the last registration weekend for voters?
Look, within this province, we had, I think, close to 150,000 registration activities.
Wow.
In other words, that is people who are first time or who re-registered, who moved, etc. So there's been a lot of activity over the weekend, and that's great.
Yes.
We are obviously busy collating our numbers, and by tomorrow we'll know the actual breakdown.
Okay, that's fantastic. And now, moving forward, we have to wait. But before we wait for the actual voting day, there have been some questions that popped up, and this is why I'm so happy that you came in today, because there were a bunch of questions. And I think the biggest one came through today. It came through on Thursday when you were on with us, but it was related to if you've registered at your same venue 4 years ago, do you have to re-register again this year? I know it may seem like a bit too late to ask that question, but I thought I'd pose it to you anyway.
It's not too late, but if your details hasn't changed and you've checked your details online, and it's still the same, then definitely you don't have to re-register. You will always be on the voters roll. Obviously, if you've changed your address, then yes, please re-register so that you go to the correct voting station.
And now you said something very key there. It is not too late. And I think this is what a lot of people are getting confused by. They thought that was the last registration weekend, and now we've lost our chance to vote.
Nope.
Talk to me about this.
It was your last weekend when we opened up all our voting stations. So for physical visits at your voting station.
Okay.
Our online system is still open 24/7 up until when the President gazettes, not when he announces. We think he will announce on Thursday, but when the actual gazette appears with the date, that is when voter registration also closes. So until that particular date, 24/7, you can go and register online, or you can visit one of the local offices of the IEC.
That is brilliant. Now, I took you up on that this weekend. I was actually telling Tarryn earlier, I was very proud to register this weekend, even though all my details were the same, but I actually just wanted to go through the process. I'm talking 5 to 7 minutes. I was done and dusted, and I just wanted to commend you on that platform, even though there was a notification saying that the platform there was a lot of traffic on that site. Naturally, it was the last registration weekend, so to speak. Very smooth, secure. There was a one-time PIN involved.
That's correct.
And then the SMSs to confirm. Beautiful. Honestly.
No, that is why we stress so much the online facility, because in the past it was only these physical registrations and paperwork and queues, etc. Now we've taken away the queues, we've taken away the paperwork. It's really only up to you. That step is up to you. I always say it's up to you whether you go disenfranchise yourself. Because at the end of the day, you have the right to vote, but if you're not registered, you have disenfranchised yourself in order to vote.
And
so, well done to you, Carl.
No, thank you. And I was very excited about it. I think that's the thing about it, is that I think many people, because of what we go through in this country on a bunch of different levels, the pride in voting, it seems to have diminished because of what we have done, and to be sensitive to all of those things. But at the same time, it's amazing. After I did that process, I really felt like,
yeah, that's it. You're part of the team, man.
I'm part of the squad.
You know that.
And that's the thing. And the squad, at the moment, our squad's looking good. We got Bafana there, Drickus there, Tyler, who won a Grammy. We good.
True that.
Our squad is very strong. So to go back to some of the other questions we couldn't answer on Thursday, if somebody is 17 years old now, but will be 18, let's just say by voting day. Talk to me about how that works. Can that 17-year-old who will be 18 a day before voting day, maybe in this calendar year. Tell me about the permutations around turning 18 in 2024.
So firstly, you are entitled to register from the age of 16, even though you can only vote when you're 18. And that's why we go to schools and we do registration drives at schools, at varsities, etc. So
Yes.
that young person can already register and register online now.
Yeah.
Because we don't know when the election date will be. All right. What happens? We will programmatically, as soon as the president says a date, we then automatically will update the voters roll so that everybody who's 18 on that day or earlier will automatically be on the voters roll. So that young person, if his or her birthday falls just before on voting day, they will be on the voters roll. If it obviously is a bit later, they'll have to wait for the next election.
Okay.
But it happens programmatically. So please just go online, let your son register, and it will happen when it happens.
Perfect.
Quite.
That's another one, though. Your question, Tarryn?
Yes, I'd like to know. So, to vote is one thing, but to make an informed vote is something very important. So, is there a place where you can read up about the different parties and, what they have to offer? Because I think that, it's important to make your own decision based on the South Africa that you want to see.
No, very much. Look, it's always important that you must do an informed choice. So I know there's some media houses that do this sort of thing where they interview and go to different political parties. From our side, as the IEC, all we can do is say to you, go to our website. There's a list of political parties with their contact details. Scroll through them, maybe Google them. And find out more, but we don't keep their manifestos. Yeah, because that's probably something that is very vague and whatever.
Also not independent.
Yeah. But so we just keep the register of parties, which is their names, abbreviations, and their contact details that they submitted to us. The best bet is simply to Google, I suppose. If you come across a name of a party or an independent, for that matter, Google them, and I'm sure you'll find some information. But as it currently stands, there is not, that I'm aware of, a sort of resource center that collects everything. Maybe that's a good project for somebody out there at the universities or something to do. Create a resource center.
Exactly. Something with historical data, present data. It'll be great.
But that will be a long list.
It would be
politicians.
Oh
long. My goodness gracious.
Mos. Okay. Then SAPS messaged in. And this is actually quite an important one. So the police, who are also deployed on that particular voting day, can they vote anywhere? The reason why is that not all policemen are deployed within the area they need to vote. Sometimes they are completely outside of their suburb and voting area. So what is the call on that for policemen?
So policemen, like any other South African, firstly, you can apply for a special vote to vote at your voting station a day before the voting starts. All right. So the Wednesday is the voting. You apply and say, look, I'm not going to be at my home or wherever I'm going to be. I want to come to my voting station on Tuesday. You let us know. You send us a SMS, online, etc. The dates will be made available once the president announces the date. That is one option. You vote where you are registered a day before. But you apply. The second one is, and that's also available to all South Africans, including SAPS, is you notify us and say, look, on that day, the voting day, I'm not going to be in my voting district. I'm at work or I'm wherever. I'm going to be at that location. Again, we will then simply notify that location where you are going to be at, and you can go vote there. The only difference is that if you are voting outside of your province, even that SAPS member, you're not going to get all the ballots because you will only get the national ballot. There will be 3 ballot papers for this election. You'll have a national ballot, which is one ballot for the whole country. It will be the same all over. You'll have a regional ballot. These are the regional seats that are reserved in Parliament for that particular region, like the Western Cape. So Western Cape will have its unique Western Cape regional ballot because not everybody is contesting for the region of the Western Cape. The third ballot is your provincial legislature. That is where the Premier comes from. And that too will be unique to the particular province. So in effect, you're going to be having 19 ballot papers on election day. In your province, you'll have three, but they will all be different except for the national ballot. So if you are registered in Cape Town, but you're in Joburg, you won't find the Western Cape ballot papers in Joburg or in Limpopo. The only one you'll find there is the national ballot, and you'll vote there. That's what happens with overseas voters as well.
I was going to go there. Overseas. I got a message in from somebody that says they're predicting that they will be overseas April, May, around the prediction of when voting day is going to be. What are they going to do in that scenario if they know I'm going to be in Ireland or somewhere there and you want to vote, but now you are going to be away for voting day? There's no districts, you're not in South Africa. So how would they handle that scenario?
So again, once we know the date and of the elections and you know when you're leaving, you can determine where you will be. All right?
Yes.
And if you're going to be overseas again, what you do is you will apply for a special vote and say, listen, I want to vote in New York.
Yeah.
Or wherever you're going to be.
Yes.
In which case we will then allocate you to that particular mission where you want to be. Or if you're in the Netherlands, it will be in The Hague or Canberra in Australia. So you will, before the time, again apply to us so that we know that you will be at a particular mission. And then you go vote there.
And applications are on the IEC
Yes.
website?
You will be able to do it either online or you can do it through a SMS because we already have your details.
Okay.
The only time that we will do different is, for example, overseas because it will be a different address. Typically, if you're saying, listen, I want to vote at my voting station a day before, we know your details. But if you're going to be at a different location than the registered address that you have, you have to do it online.
What does that look like for expats who are wanting to vote? I think that's also quite important. What is that day going to look like for them casting their vote overseas?
So what we've done for expats, there's a lot of them living all over the world.
Yes.
So we've created this what we call an overseas segment.
Okay.
So you don't have to link yourself to a South African address anymore. You take your address in London or in wherever, right? It's online. It's a separate online facility for expats who are overseas. You type in your address, it will then immediately say, okay, you are in Britain, so it's London, or you are in Germany. It will tell you where the embassy is, and that's it. You don't have to. Then you registered on the segment for that to vote at that embassy. You don't have to tell us anything. You just rock up. It's like when you're in South Africa, once you've registered, you just go rock up, you'll be on the voters roll.
So the embassies are going to be your voting stations on the voting day.
That's correct. There are all the embassies or missions, as they call them, around the world will be, I think we only have 3 which are not operating at the moment. Department of Foreign Affairs said that it's Israel, Ukraine, and one more. Syria, I think.
Okay.
But it's literally because of the security situation. But for the rest, you go to your embassy, and that's where you vote.
What if you're in hospital during the voting period? So I think it's a curveball, but what happens? You fall ill, you're in hospital, you want to cast a vote, you're on your hospital bed. Do you get to miss out on making your mark because of your ailment?
Again, you need to apply for a special vote to vote where you are in the hospital.
Yes.
And then we will come and visit you. It's like when you are in it's like when we in an old age home.
Yes.
What the law says is that due to your condition, whether you're infirm or aged, you cannot get to your voting station. Then you can apply for it. So it's not anybody that can just say, I want a home visit. We don't do, we're not 60-60. So what happens is you apply for a special vote. You say, listen, I'm not well or whatever. And this is even at your home. If you can't come to the voting station, you will apply before the time. And that is also online or manually where somebody drops it off. And we will then come and bring your ballot to you.
That's great. It's a really great service as well. Talking about service, and this is my final question. I've loaded you, but you were. I love this quick fire. You have been fantastic. So the last one is a message that came through now saying that would the IEC consider doing any sort of special line for those who have to they have families, babies in hand, etc. They're gonna have to wait in line, prams, etc. So. I think that's exactly where this question is going to. Is there any sort of, I'm going to say, accommodation for individuals such as that?
There's a practice. There's nothing in law, but there's a practice that if an older person arrives at the voting station or a pregnant lady, or moms with kids, then we allow them to come to the front of the queue. Sometimes, unfortunately, there's a couple of grumpy people in the line.
Oh, come on.
But that is the practice. We make sure that those who need to go first can go first. Obviously, if you have like a tennis appointment or something like that, doesn't count.
Yeah, if you want to go play padel, don't come do your thing here. No, man. If there's anything lingering in your mind that you want to take a radio opportunity for, Mike, I would love to offer you this opportunity to share anything that you want with the general public that you think is very pertinent, especially ahead of a big day like voting day.
Look, I think the big thing is make sure that you are registered at the right place.
Yes.
Sometimes we have moved and we don't even realize the last time we registered. It's like with your ID, man.
Yes.
When you applied for an ID at 16, you gave your address in Utenaig, where I'm from. Now you don't bother. You think, they know where I am. It's not so easy. Make sure you are, so that you don't go to the wrong voting station and then you're disappointed, I'm disappointed. So that's the first thing. And you can still check online, or you can just send us a SMS with your ID number. SMS number is 32810, and it will let you know this is your voting station. Or if you, like some people, like my brother, for example, I don't know what contract they are on, but Vodacom don't allow them to send us SMS where they charge R1 for some reason.
What?
Yeah, it's your contracting. Now people say, you bloody IEC, you send me. But it's not us, it's your contract conditions that don't allow you to. So there's a WhatsApp that you can send, and that is 0600 88 0000. It's a WhatsApp, and then also to ask you, hi, your name, send your ID, and they will tell you.
Lovely.
So we try.
No, you've done well. Honestly, the IEC have done very well. You deserve your flowers for what is an incredible infrastructure plan ahead of this voting day. So
no, hold that flowers until after the election.
I'm going to hold the flowers then. I'll keep them watered and in the pot.
Look, anytime, Carl, Tarryn, it's always a pleasure to chat with you guys.
Lovely.
And like I said to South Africans out there, this is your opportunity. You have your opinions.
Yes.
You know what you can do with.
Wait. This is your line.
You have to say it for us live again. This is brilliant.
All right. So let's do the line now. We need a moment for this line. Go for it, Michael.
So, you know what you can do with your opinion. Shove it in the ballot box.
Booyah!
The Flash Drive with Carl Wastie. Only on KFM 94.5.